All right, everybody, welcome back to Limitless Healing, episode 6. Guys, we're on episode 6, and I'm so pumped up. I'm so excited. We're going to be wrapping up the adrenals today, which is always exciting, but we're also going to be pushing into detoxification. So I'm actually going to use some graphics this week, so that way you can see what I'm talking about and instead of just seeing me just randomly speaking, throughout. So here's what our topic is going to be. So we talked about phase 1. So phase 1 in the adrenals is when the cortisol spikes high, DHEA spikes high, and then DHEA eventually drops down. That's a phase 1. Just for a recap. Phase 2 is going to be where you have the cortisol almost in the normalish range with DHEA dropping down to the bottom. Phase 3 is when both of them are going to be kind of low, more or less flatline reading. So I'm going to show you an example of what that looks like on a test, but also going to talk to you about what that means for your health overall. Now, if you're in a phase 3, okay, a phase 3 of adrenal exhaustion, that means, quite honestly, you have been neglecting your adrenal glands for quite some time. This isn't typically something that just happens overnight, unless you had something that was so catastrophic in your life, like grief or loss, that all of a sudden your adrenal glands just gave up and you just bottomed out into a phase 3, okay? So what does a phase 3 look like whenever we're talking about your tests? So I have a test here pulled up, all right? And this patient in particular, all right, has an issue with phase 3 adrenals. So here's what I'm going to show you here. Okay, good. All right. So what we're going to be looking at here is going to be this guy overall. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you can see exactly what I'm looking at. So when we're talking about her cortisol rhythm, we want the normal ups and downs as you're seeing throughout the day. So waking sample is relatively low. Morning sample is abysmal. It's basically flatline. So there's very little of the cortisol awakening response that's actually happening. So as soon as she gets up, she's okay. And then her day starts and boom, she bottoms out. Afternoon, boom, bottoms out again. Nighttime, boom, bottoms out again. So you can see off to the right that the 24-hour free cortisol reading is also going to be on the lower end of things too. So when that's low, it's showing you that the overall output of cortisol is really, really low. And if you look right next to it, the cortisol output's low, and then the metabolized cortisol is high. So they're metabolizing through the little bit of cortisol that they have very, very, very quickly. So this is a state where we need to really rapidly resuscitate these adrenal glands so that way we don't have what's called the pregnenolone steal take place, because the pregnenolone steal is no good for anybody, okay? So pregnenolone steal is going to be where we have this going on right here. Boom, all right? I'm going to slide off to the side a little bit here so you can see. Go this way because it's easier. Awesome. So this is going to be kind of nerdy-ish in a way. If you don't like it, then you probably shouldn't be tuning into me because I'm always doing some nerdy things. But you're seeing that basically what happens is you have pregnenolone as your main mother hormone. So it gives birth to all of your other hormones that you have. So it starts cholesterol, pregnenolone goes off, and it creates progesterone. Progesterone has the ability to be able to convert down to cortisol. Then cortisol can convert into cortisone. So if we're having what's called pregnenolone steal happening, we're so stressed out that our body is prioritizing cortisol. So we're taking that pregnenolone, we're taking that progesterone, and we're pulling it to the cortisol side of things. So that way you're in that rapid state of inflammation and you're fight or flight and you're all over the place, okay? When that happens, the other side of your hormones are going to suffer. So things like your progesterone, obviously, but then you have your testosterone can deplete, and then your estrogens can also deplete. So you can have overall hormonal depletion. So what does that look like? So you can have issues. I mean, if we're talking progesterone and estrogen, we can have anxiety, we can have cramping during your menstrual cycle, we can have weight gain, we can have estrogen dominant type symptomatology, because if your progesterone drops too low, even if you have relatively normal estrogen, it's still an abnormal ratio, so you can still have the symptoms of being dominant. The other thing you can have insomnia, you can have hot flashes, you can have night sweats. You can basically feel like you're in menopause at a really young age, okay? So pregnenolone steal is something very serious that needs to be talked about, because if we don't fully understand what's going on in that pregnenolone steal, then we can't really fix anything else that's going on in your body. So that's kind of our first line priority that we need to make sure we're looking after, is making sure we nourish those adrenal glands. Because when we do kick down into a phase 3, everything else pretty much depletes, and that's not a good sign for anybody at any given moment. So what are the symptoms of your phase 3 people? Phase 3 people are going to be very low energy. They're going to be tired when they wake up. They're going to be tired in the forenoon, tired in the afternoon, tired at bedtime. They're just kind of dragging through their days, and they feel like there's a lead anchor hanging behind them the entire time. It's not a fun place to be, so there's people who are like, I used to be able to do this, but now the littlest amount of effort just makes me so tired, so anxious, and all I want to do is fall asleep. All right? So phase 3s are more of your low energy type people who know that they're capable of so much more, but they don't know how to obtain it. Okay? So a phase 2, if we take a step up, you can have symptoms where you have high energy states and then low energy states, where one day you wake up, you're like, yes, I feel fantastic. And then the next day, oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to do anything today. I can't function. Or you can have it fluctuate throughout the day, where you wake up and you feel like you're, picking your brains off the pillow. And then you go through the day and you have a little bit of energy in the afternoon, and then boom, you tank back down again in the evening. So that's more of your phase 2, where you kind of have the ups and downs. And then a phase 1 is where you're just all the time. Okay, you're just high level, type A, get stuff done, and you just get very easily overwhelmed because you're constantly multitasking and you're never really taking time for yourself. All right. So phase 3 is the worst that you can get, besides a phase 4. Phase 4 is when the adrenals just completely shut down, and each one kind of compounds on the other. So there's always underlying causes of why we can have adrenal issues. We can have, like I said previously, we can have issues with loss. We can have gut infections, so GI infections. We can have too much exercise. We can have too little exercise. We can have poor diet, poor nutrition. Medications can have this happen. Antidepressants are phenomenal with killing the adrenal glands. That's a whole different topic for a different time. So there's a lot of different things that can contribute to why your adrenals are the way that they are. And so I'm all about, and if you know me, I'm all about being proactive whenever it comes to your health. So do something about your health before you lose it, because then it makes it a lot easier to correct it. Again, if you're in a phase 3, we're talking anywhere from 9 months to a year to be able to reestablish the connection with your adrenal glands, to kind of bring them back to life. And that's on average. Some people can go a little bit sooner, some people can go a little bit longer than a year. So it's really important to nip it in the bud in that phase 1, or if you don't know, again, getting it tested. The other thing too is if you have gut infections, just prolonged gut infections that you just can't get rid of, and you're constantly dealing with it, or you constantly have GI issues, and you go to your medical doctors and they don't do anything for you, and you're just spinning your tires. The longer you have a gut infection, the more you're going to increase your cortisol output, or your cortisol demand. The more you're going to be stealing that pregnenolone, creating cortisol, until your adrenal glands burn out as well. So you can be massively fatigued for long periods of time. Yeast is super, super infamous to causing massive fatigue in the body, and even causing some constipation and some estrogen dominance and a whole other host of different things. So this brings me into my segue with detoxification. Okay, so when we talk about detoxification, this is something that I have preached on time and time and time again, but I'm seeing it creep up again, is that everybody is jumping on detoxes. I don't know if it's just people getting ready for the holidays, or people just, I don't know if it's a multi-level marketing thing where they're rolling out new deals on things, but we need to understand how to properly detox or detoxify, Because if we're not, we're going to massively, massively, massively harm our bodies. So how does that play into a phase 3 of adrenals? Well, if we have phase 3 in your adrenal glands, what that's going to do is going to cause massive harm to your overall detox pathway. So phase 3, you can't detox properly anyways. Okay, that's the bottom line. And if we take this into consideration, I'm going to pull up an example here of what I'm talking about, so that way you can see this here too, because I'm all about showing you what I'm talking about. Get that pen there, blot that out. Cool. All right, so let me show you what I'm saying here. Okay, so that's my other test I got to show you. That one has to be hidden right now. Okay, get that one out of the way. Multitasking here, guys and gals. Keep it gender neutral for you. All right, so what we're looking at here is that same patient. Okay, so we have the hormones or the hormonal pattern right here. So we already kind of touched base on the pregnenolone steal, and what you're going to see is that you're going to have the progesterone issue, you're going to have low-level DHEA sulfate, and the following hormones going down the androgen side also gives birth into the estrogen side. So if you look at this particular patient, and this patient was like, I want to detox right now, I would say, no way, no how will I allow you to detox. Okay, no way, no how. First off, phase 3, you're already stressed out. Detox isn't smart just because it's more stress to your body. Not good. You're not going to be able to handle it. Your detox is going to be terrible. Okay, so think about that. The other thing that we have here is this patient does not have enough hormones to detox. Massively important to know. A lot of women have hormonal imbalances. That's what I would say probably the majority of my practice is women dealing with hormonal imbalances because they've been somewhere, they've been on birth control, they have poor diet, they have xenoestrogens, you name it, hormones aren't normal. And you have to make sure you get them tested before you would ever even think about being detoxed. This is one of the golden standards for me, is that if you don't fix your gut, you don't fix your hormones, you're not detoxing in my office. And if you do it too soon, you're going to feel it, and you're going to feel like crap. And then I'm going to have a call with you, and you're going to say, I feel like crap, and I'll say, I told you so. Okay? So, look, no testosterone here. It's basically completely bottomed out. Estrogens, all right, she's postmenopausal, so they're supposed to be in that purple box. She's below the purple box there. And then looking down throughout the rest of the boxes here, she's pretty darn low across the board. And then methylation activity is also really low. Okay? That's the whole different topic there. But if I put this patient, or if this patient found out about a sexy herb called DIM or 1,3-C, and she got on her bandwagon and started taking this, she'll crush herself. Okay? She'll crush herself. She'll have estrogen deficiency. One of the main things that people worry about with estrogen deficiency is bone loss, osteopenia, osteoporosis. So if you want those things, then take your DIM, drain your estrogens, but we need them. Our bodies create things for a reason. Estrogen isn't bad, it just needs to be in balance, and your lifestyle and your gut health and all these other things have a profound impact on what your hormones look like. So she jumped on a detox and she hit phase 1 detoxification hard, where she's getting rid of all of her top line estrogens, her E1, her E2, and E3. Ooh, she's going to feel terrible. Absolutely terrible. Don't do it. Going down below, we have metabolites. So we're talking phase 2 and phase 3 of detoxification. We need to make sure there are actually hormones there to detox. There are hardly any there to detox. Again, you can't force this person to detox. They will do terrible. And she would not have known this if we did not test her hormones. I cannot stress that enough, guys. I keep seeing time and time again people just jumping on detoxes, right? And I keep seeing mold time and time and time again. People are jumping on detoxes. Well, mold has a tendency to push you into a phase 3 of adrenal output. Okay, it burns you out. So if you don't prep your body properly before you do a detox to get rid of mold, you're in rough shape. Okay, and I'm going to show you an example of that, because of course I'm bringing up more and more and more examples here. All right, so let me show you this patient's test here. Okay, So this is one of my tests. I just got back here earlier last week, so I felt like I needed to share this with you. Here we go. Awesome. So going all the way up here. So we have an E. coli infection. It's pretty darn close to expressing itself. Okay. H. pylori coming up. Overgrowth of good bacteria. He's just on some probiotics there. And then look at all these guys. Holy smokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bacterial infections. And then 9, 10, 11, 12 almost infections, okay? Going all the way down. Secretory IgA is low. Calprotectin is high, so inflammatory markers high. But the main thing, guys, I wanted to talk about is zonulin, all right? Zonulin is your leaky gut measurement. How leaky is your gut? So I didn't mean to make that into like a catchy tune, but how leaky is your gut? Zonulin is going to let you know that measurement. So if you're detoxing, whether you have mold or whether you've got breast implant illness or you've just jumped on a bandwagon with, I won't throw multi-level marketing under the bus because I do it enough. If you jump on a detox and you did not fix your gut first and you have leaky gut by way more than double, what do you think you're doing to yourself? Okay? Your gut is basically been shot with a shotgun. There are holes everywhere. And if you're taking toxins and you're bottling them up and you're throwing them into your digestive tract, where the heck do you think that those toxins are going to go? They're not going to go. Some will go out, but they're going to get reabsorbed back into the bloodstream. Do you want crazy toxins that are already broken down, which makes them more toxic? Do you want them to recirculate back into the bloodstream? No way. Okay? This patient right here needs to kill off those infections, heal his gut before he would ever be able to broach the subject of detoxification. I cannot stress this enough, guys. I cannot stress it enough. But again, I see this all the time. So many people are trying to push products. I don't push products. I talk about testing because you need to test yourself before you understand where your current level of health is. And if you haven't been tested, you need to be tested. It's as simple as that. If you want to be healthy. That is, okay? I'm not just trying to be a jackwagon. I'm being 100% honest with you. I'm getting really sick of seeing this stuff all over social media, all over Facebook, all over Instagram. Detox. Like, what the hell do you know about detox? You don't know anything. You're not a doctor. So, another thing about detoxification that nobody really talks about is a lot of these supplement companies or these other companies that are out there will try to tell you to detox with just a few little herbs. You need a lot of herbal support. I'm going to actually blank myself out here so you can see what I'm talking about. You have phase 1 and phase 2 of detox, okay? So if you're trying to detox here and say you did heal up your gut real well, okay? You healed up your gut, right? Everything is peachy keen. Your adrenals are absolutely fantastic, okay? Yeah, Brian, test yourself before you wreck yourself. Exactly. My wife and I actually joke around. We say, instead of treat yourself from Parks and Recreation, we say test yourself. You have some shirts actually in the back on that. Anyway, so say your adrenals are cleaned up, your gut's cleaned up, everything is hunky-dory, and you hit this detox area, and you're like, all right, what do I need to do? All right, so nutrients needed. So you need all of these nutrients to be able to properly detox your body and increase certain activities. So you need some vitamin A, B3, B6, folic acid. I say folate, I don't like folic acid. Vitamin B12, glutathione, BCAAs, flavonoids, phospholipids. And then you push over and you have some other nutrients needed. Glycine, taurine, glutamine, acetylcysteine, cysteine, methionine. All right? So you need a lot of stuff. Antioxidants down here. You have carotene, so you got vitamin A, C, E, selenium, copper, zinc, manganese, CoQ10. Bioflavonoids again, silymarin, so milk thistle. All right? Drives me up a dang wall here too. So side note on milk thistle. If you just take milk thistle and you're trying to clean your liver, you're not going to clean your freaking liver. You're going to have to clean it again real quickly because it's just one component out of all of these guys that are in there. Okay? Can it help? Sure. But at the same time, if you're not taking in these nutrients, you are not properly detoxifying that liver. Just simple as that. So you need to know this information, guys. First off, if you're in a phase 1, 2, or 3 of adrenals, you should not be detoxing. Shouldn't do it. okay? Because like Brian said, you will wreck yourself, all right? If you have a gut infection, if you have leaky gut or just irregular bowels, do not even think about detoxing. I don't even need to test you to tell you, don't freaking detox. If you have hormonal imbalances, I also would not tell you to detox unless you are properly tested. Reason being is there are so many things, some underlying causes that need to be corrected before you can hit that proper detox phase. That's why you will never see me doing detox challenges with people. You will not see me making Facebook groups for detoxes for patients unless they are completely cleared by me or somebody else that I trust. You will not be prescribed a detox. Simple as that. And if somebody else is pushing a detox on you and you have not been tested, say thanks, but no thanks. I need to do this the proper way. And that is the only way to do things, because I'm tired of hearing people say, oh, those are just detox symptoms. Bullcrap. Bullcrap. It's not. Your body has to be prepped before you detox, because if you're stressed, if you have holes in your gut, for lack of better words, and you're trying to push a detox, then God bless you. I don't know how you're going to get through life. All right? Start making proper decisions. Start making proper choices, and stop allowing unhealthy people to try to tell you how to be healthy. And that's not a punch at Fauci or however you say his name. Maybe it is. But stop listening to people who don't practice what they preach. All right? Being, I guess, superficial. If your doctor is out of shape, they don't work out, they're not healthy, they don't eat healthy, they pound sugar, maybe you need another doctor. Just saying, all right? Because a medication is just a permission slip just to continue to live that same lifestyle that made you sick to begin with. Okay? So that being said, that is my phase 3 of adrenals for you guys. So if you, as usual, if you have not been tested, reach out. I know a bunch of you guys have reached out in the past couple weeks or so with tons of questions. Mold has been running rampant out with a lot of my patients. So if you haven't had a mold test, you can see what our test looks like. You saw what my stool test looks like. You saw what my hormone test looks like. Those are just my gold standards. But if you have any questions at all, go to our website. It's drjockmoser.com. And then you'll see a little box pop up, and it'll say free 15-minute health evaluation. So you can sit down and actually have a free chat with me for 15 minutes to see if you have a condition that I've worked with, or if I can help you with, or see where we need to go from there. So there's no risk in doing it, but it's going to help to give you answers and give you explanations as to why this is important for you. And I'm going to end with a story, another freaking personal story. I'm tired of this happening to my darn family, and I hope she's okay with me sharing this. I'm not going to say names, but I had a family member reach back out to me. We had already gotten amazing results with her son, okay? Had some other issues, some neurological issues that were going on. We basically bounced him back to normal in a couple months. That was, I think, one Thanksgiving or 2 Thanksgivings ago. She actually gave us a huge testimony on it. And then her daughter came in, okay? Her daughter has been constipated since 12 months old. Went to multiple GI doctors, multiple, and they all just palpated her stomach, tried to make sure everything was good. They're like, oh, things are soft, things are good. Just give her some Miralax and move on with it. So this kid is like 3 years old, about 3 years old now, since 12 months old, so about 2 years of being on Miralax, and she's still not going to the bathroom. All right, I'm super sensitive with kids. I will do anything for kids because they have such a bright future ahead of them if you teach them what health is now. So they come in, and I meet with my cousin's my cousin's husband, and we're just chatting back and forth. And he's telling me the story of it, telling me about the GI docs. They didn't take an X-ray on her to see if she had any spinal issues. Didn't do any sort of testing, no stool test. Nothing was done to be able to figure out if there was an issue going on in this patient's gut. She had an enterohemorrhagic E. coli infection. So the enteroteric system, so the gastrointestinal system, the digestive tract, hemorrhage can cause hemorrhaging in the intestinal tract, okay? It can cause hemolytic uremic syndrome, very serious stuff. And her infection was off the flippin' charts. Off the charts. which means it didn't just pop up in the past month or 2 months. This thing was severe. And the only way it was caught was because we tested it. And this will change her life path for the rest of her life. So this is why I'm all about testing. I will constantly pound testing down people's throats. Why? Because you don't know what you don't know until you test it. So for the love of Pete, if you want to be healthy, the starting point for you is either get a schedule for a 15-minute call, free call with me, or get some tests run, and we'll help you from there. Okay, that being said, I'm going to go try to enjoy my weekend. I'm going to cool down a little bit just because I got heated up on these topics. So, summary, test yourself. If you have any digestive issues, hormonal issues, adrenal issues, do not detox. And if you get the pass from me or somebody that I trust, then detox properly and get the packages that you need, the amounts that you need, so that way you have a nice, gentle cleanse where at the end of it, you'll be healthier than you've ever have been. So that being said, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this information valuable, please share it. All right, get it out there so that way we can get more people on here. You have more people chatting back and forth. And the topic is yet to be determined for next week, but it might be something with mold. So we'll see. Take care, everybody. Love you all. Have a good weekend.